What's going on, everyone? So, Julie, we now know, is a story walker. And her, along with Randall, originally went to the ruins, which turns out there's a dungeon there that is not accessible unless special magical ways, such as, Julie's able to actually enter that place. And then also with Boyd, where he was able to get a torch, like a lantern from there, and then was able to light it and return to the dungeon to stop the music box curse, right? Well, because Julie is now a story walker, and she has the potential ability to time travel, what does that mean for Randall as well as Marielle, right? Because when Julie and Randall went there, they both felt this energy. They both felt this presence. Only Julie was the one that her curiosity helped her explore it and ultimately discover that she was a story walker. Where Randall, which is completely understandable given, the torture he has dealt with, he wanted to stay as far away from that as possible, right? And so now it's like, okay, well, now that Julie is going to come back at some point or have some type of information and is, I would imagine, at some point going to relay to Randall and Marielle what happened, right? That, hey, I went there, I can travel in time, I'm a story walker, right? Maybe you guys can do it. And is it possible that the other two can do the same thing? That the other two have the potential to, go to different time periods in time. A lot of people think that Randall is actually the man in yellow all grown up. That, the man in yellow grows up Randall grows up and becomes the man in yellow, which could be a real possibility. However, I'd like to make a counterpoint as to why Randall and Marielle are not capable of doing what Julie did. So, the energy that sensed, because Randall felt the same thing, right? That doesn't necessarily mean it was the time travel thing. It just means it's this place kind of calling out to you because they were all trapped there. It's the energy of that place that is essentially resonating, and all of them kind of spiritually being inside that place. You're going to have that connection. You're going to feel that energy and that presence, right? We don't even know if Randall can enter the dungeon the way that Julie did. What's the difference between Julie, Randall, and Marielle? They were all in the dungeon together. They were all, chained up together. Well, one of them has a reincarnated mother that is Miranda, right? Tabitha was Miranda. And Tabitha is connected to this place from the very beginning, right? You trace her lineage all the way back, and her daughter died. Okay, well, who else's daughter died? Or appears to be dead, right? They still have tiptoed around Eloise every step of the way. But as far as we know, Eloise died too, right? Like, you have this pattern, right? There is very likely a connection, some type of just bloodline, whatever, that ties them to this place. I mean, even Tabitha's original daughter, right? The Ankui child, the one that kneels down in front of her, even she's still in FROMVILLE. Can appear to people and help guide people and all that stuff, right? Like, it's very likely that Julie is able to do what she's able to do because of the lineage, right? Because of the bloodline. That Randall and Marielle, yeah, they can sense that place, but strictly through the connection. Right? Who's to say that they can actually go in and travel and do all that other stuff, right? Like, Julie's role might just be that. She might just be the story walker. Eloise, we never got to see kind of grow up, or we never got to see her be there, right? But here's the thing too, right? They all got the music box curse, right? They all ended up getting trapped and consumed by the music box curse, and Boyd was able to go do that. Right? Like, Julie was able to see that. She was able to go in there and deal with that, but she saw beyond that. She was able to go to different directions, stuff like that. Well, the music box curse never existed prior, right? But those different timelines have always been there, right? So is Randall and Marielle, like, were they chosen from the beginning? Probably not, because that music box curse, as far as we know, has never existed prior. Right? So it can't be something where it's like, oh man, like, Eloise and 2 other kids would have fallen into that curse. No, I mean, it took Boyd exploring, like, it was a domino effect. It wasn't something that they just, like, stumbled across. And also, we never saw Julie or any of them go to the ruins prior. Right? Like, to me, I think it's just all 3 of them had the connection of they were lost in this curse, right? And then that is what the kind of radiation that they feel when they get close to the ruins is, because they, spiritually connected there. But Julie is kind of like a chosen one that is meant to go there, right? Now, look, I could be completely wrong, but here's my concern, and here's why I think that that'll end up being the case. Julie, by herself, poses a dilemma, right? Because, yes, she can go to different stories and affect and impact things, but, like Ethan said, you can't change the story once it's been written. She might not be able to. What happens if all 3 of them go to the same place, right? Like, Jim doesn't want to leave. What if Randall and the other 2, and, Marielle and Julie, what if they just, like, knock him out and drag him, right? Like, say, they want to go and save town, like, and you have different agendas, different motives, right? Like, Randall could go back in time and prevent him from ever getting attacked, right? Like, that which would change the timelines, right? Like, you could run the risk of things getting too kind of convoluted here and a little too carried away, right? You already have that risk with Julie being able to do that. But again, who's to say Marielle and Randall can do that too? Julie is Tabitha's daughter. Tabitha has been here since the very beginning. Her bloodline traces all the way to the beginning. Right? Like, Miranda had a daughter. Daughter died. Right? That also begs the question, is Julie on her way to a death? But point is that, like, you look at Julie, like, there's a clear difference between her and the other 2. Right? And that is the bloodline, the connection there. Her mother is chosen, so it would make sense that she would kind of be a bit chosen too, in an extent, right? Not in the sense of like her mother, but in the sense of just like all the other kids. The other kids were chosen to be sacrificed to breed immortality and create that place. So to me, I think Julie's the only one that has the gift. I think Julie's the only one that can actually maybe even enter that place. Right? Because, again, it's like a spiritual place. Like, she goes there, like, spiritually. Which I think is odd. Well, then why is her hair different? Right? Why is her hair cut? Because even if she got trapped in that place, right? Like, she wouldn't be. But I digress, right? That's neither here nor there. Point is that Julie is more likely than not the sole story walker. Right? Because you don't want to run the risk of having too many story walkers. Because, again, Randall has had that, like, I'm going to look out for myself before anybody. Also, you had, him basically get butchered the one time he tried to help. I think it would kind of make sense that, like, if he had the potential to story walk, he may do some bad stuff, right? Like, he may even just change him ever even going there, ever being there, right? And then start getting into, like, paradoxes and stuff, right? Like that, right? In The Man in Yellow, I don't think it's Randall. I don't, right? Because, again, you don't have the scars and all that stuff, right? Like, now that we actually saw The Man in Yellow, right? You kind of see, like, the differences between him and Randall. I don't buy that it's Randall. I mean, it could be. You never know, right? Like I say with the show all the time, you can't really rule anything out. I just don't buy it. I don't think it is. I think it's probably its own entity, its own being, right? And then that would also have to mean that's not really the big bad, right? Like, because the big bad would have been that entity that would have been there from the very beginning that convinced the townspeople to sacrifice the children. I just don't think it's Randall. Maybe I'll make a video diving into why it's not Randall. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you think like, yeah, it's solely Julie? Do you think, no, it could be all of them? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.